Hello everyone, thanks for coming, and actually I'm kind of bummed on this. I can't see who's attending and how many people are here, but thank you for coming and joining it, and hopefully everybody's on. That's the one problem, is I can't really communicate back, but oh, and I just got a text that said 8 people are currently on, so thanks for coming. We have a new platform here, as you can tell. It allows us to do quite a few different things, and we felt like it was a big advantage to go this route for multiple reasons. One is that I can now broadcast me and be able to walk through our shop and show you equipment, show you different stuff, and be able to have that fed to you live. Now, the way that you communicate back to me, if you look on the live page, you have a Twitter feed and a Facebook feed over on the right, and also one called Social Stream. You can communicate to us through that platform, and then we are able to respond. So you might get a text response, but what I'm hoping to do is while we are doing this broadcast, that as you ask questions, we can answer them live. That's kind of the whole purpose of moving this direction. The other thing too is if you just had like a straight Twitter account, you were using your phone, you can message to us with hashtag Snowie Live. And anyway, I wanted to move more of a direction where you ask questions that we can actually show you answers live. And like if you had a question about a shaver, we could go and show you that shaver specifically, talk to you about it, and stuff like that. So today is kind of like a new intro to this platform. One of the things that I really wanted to do was to take you on a tour of Snowie. One of the biggest things we get from Snowie customers that actually come and visit us physically is they're shocked. And I wanted to be able to give you guys that experience who are far away and those of you who are in Australia, etc. And kind of let you walk our shop for a moment. That's the first thing we're going to do. And then the other part of the topic was new equipment. We have come out with some new cool stuff this year, and we even have like 5 more things that I'm not allowed to show yet, but will be coming out right around the bend. So we're excited to do that. So what I'm going to do is I will change the broadcast to my phone, and that part should be seamless. When I get done with the phone in the shop and I come back to the computer, there's actually a little hiccup there in all the testing that we did. And so if your screen goes black for a moment during that transition, just hang tight and I'll be back on and on the computer and that. And I'm going to have Greg, who is our shaver builder. So is that your official title? Our shaver builder. Now Greg is like the master at shavers, and actually next week, if you noticed on the topics, I want to do one webinar specifically on the Snowie 3000. We were actually going to feature the block today a bit, but to be honest, we can't keep them in stock. And we had to rush every last one out the door yesterday, and so we're building them frantically. So I don't have that to show today, but I'm going to do one specifically on the block, and I might do that next week and then do the 3000 on a following one. And the reason, well, I have multiple reasons for wanting to show the 3000, and we'll talk about it then. So so I'm going to kick this to my phone right now, and I'm hoping, I keep getting all these messages, I hope they don't interrupt my stream. Let's see here. Man, it's picking up a lot slower today than it was yesterday. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk out in the shop where I have better reception, and hopefully that picks up, but you should be able to get my audio. So, here we go. So, here's reception. We have, this is Emily.
I'm joking, please don't.
And we have actually, the quality is struggling. Yeah, follow me. So sorry Emily, the quality is like really poor right now, but I just wanted everybody to introduce everybody to you. This is who answers the phone, and who's constantly helping you. We're very grateful for her. She manages a lot well. So I'm going to come outside, here. And this is our shipping department, and we do everything right out of here. As you know, we serve every place in the United States, and we also supply 40 countries. We do all of that from right here. We manufacture everything right here in Salt Lake City. The only thing that is not manufactured right now in Salt Lake City is the little Snowie that you're seeing here, these boxes. And we actually have plans of bringing that back to the U.S. It's pretty important for us to manufacture items in the United States, and we feel like people take a great amount of pride in that as well. And I apologize. Last night I was getting huge signal to where this was a very clear broadcast, and right now I'm not breaking 300K, so it's probably not showing up very well, but hopefully the audio that I add to it is helping. So yeah, these are all of our flavors, and little Snowie, you'll see that we've got lots of them. Travel on through the shop. As you can see, it goes quite deep. Over here we have a lot of our flavor station parts, flavor station assemblies, and here we're starting to come across where we manufacture our shavers. As I mentioned Greg's name earlier, Greg manufactures our machines. He knows them inside and out. All of us do, but that guy really knows every little increment. And I wanted to show you a few things today, and we'll actually come back to this after I take you to the back of the shop. Just kind of show you some other things. These are all new blade housings for the 3000, and they're all actually being prepped. I don't know if you can tell. Wish this was more clear, but they're all being prepped for the new magnet that's going in them to be able to receive the flower cup attachments. And we'll talk about that here in a bit as well. So those are all being modified. Now we're coming across an area where we manufacture our buildings and our stands and our buses. As you can see, there's actually a couple that are starting out right here. This is what one looks, that's bare bones. Got a couple of those that are going up. And apologize, I came through and asked for music to be off, so I hope you guys can hear me, because a lot of music is still on. So I wanted to talk about the bus here real quick. We are, as you can see, this is a pink bus. We've made a new transition, so you know we have our traditional school bus theme, and you're obviously able to do that and continue to have that look and feel. But we also have this like a pink bus, and we're actually offering these in any color that you want. So if you wanted to purchase a Snowie bus, you can now order it by color, and you don't have to have a school bus theme. You can do anything you want. And anyway, kind of show you some of that being manufactured. Man, I wish that signal would pick up. So we'll walk through this area here. You know, I haven't talked about a lot of the equipment that we make things with, but if you look back in here, we actually vacuum form all of our products and do the CNC routing on them, cut them out. Anyway, we do everything is literally manufactured right here, Snowie. Here's another bus that's being worked on. Now there's a few things that I wanted to touch on, and yeah, Jace, let me know if you see any questions as well. There's a few things. One thing that I wanted to touch on quickly is our new flower cup attachments. And I'm going to show you a video in case you guys haven't seen that video online. But before I transfer back to my computer where we experienced that hiccup a little, I wanted to just show you some in person and talk to you about it. So the new housings, and this is a block. Here's a 1000 housing. And you can see they have magnets in them. Those are new receiving magnets for the flower cup attachment. So if I just like put this up on its side because I'm holding a phone with one hand, you can pop that right in and it will click to that. and allow you to be able to use flower cups. And it'll make a bit more sense when I stream that video to you. But the reason I point this out too is I want to make it clear, if you already have a shaver and you were to buy attachments, they obviously won't have any magnet to attach themselves to. So right now we're running a promotion where if you buy the housing and 2 attachments together, then we're knocking off, and I already forgot, I think it's like 15%. Because of flower cups, they kind of have modified everything. We've done everything with just a straight cup up to this point because I should show you on this one. This is a clean new machine. So right here, when you would do this topper, now this vinyl flap is great, and the reason that we do the attachments and we didn't just modify this completely is because snow could still go everywhere and fly out past the cup. The flower cup, by itself, is able to control that and be able to catch all of that snow, so it kind of makes that a non-issue. Whereas if you were to hold up a regular cup, it would struggle a little bit. So we've made it to where you can hop back to this and do the cup. Now, why would I want to go back and forth? Well, really, the flower cups, instead of just making them a normal product, it's always great to have like an upsell, to have some motivation to get people to buy the more expensive product and something that they can get more product with. Not just that they can you can charge more, but they actually get more. A flower cup is a perfect item for that. You're able to like shave a lot of snow into it. A lot of parents are a lot more comfortable because when they fill it, it all stays within the cup. Even when it falls off the side, it falls onto the cup. So it's a great upsell. But it allows you, if they wanted to spend a little less and just do a regular cup, and you can just pull the attachment back out. Oh, there's one in here. Oh, that one doesn't have a magnet. So anyway, you're able to pull this attachment out and pop it right back in and shave it. So go back and forth, whatever you want to do. Now the other items, like I said, the flower cup kind of changed everything, and so we've made some modifications. So if you already own a flavor station, there's 2 things that we're doing. You can either buy a flavor station now that allows for flower cup attachments, and this is the difference right here. So we had to extend these out because a flower cup wasn't able to fit under the regular spigots. Now in other flavor stations, like on the bus and stuff like that, as you'll see on the video that I'm going to show you, they're able to fit in it a little bit better, but on our regular flavor stations, it's a struggle to get a flower cup under that. So we've extended those out. Now we do have a modification kit that if you wanted to go in and put those on yourself, on your already existing flavor station, you can do that. Also point out while I'm on this, if you notice this wrap, we had a wrap that was very soft, and it was very easy to kind of like wrinkle it. It was like a paper almost, like a poster material. And so that thing would crease and it would wrinkle, and you could press it in. Anyway, this right now, it's like hard. So, and I love these, man. They stay sharp. They're very clean, very solid, and you know, everything's always an improvement. You see mistakes, and you're like, you know what? We need to move away from that and improve on it. And that's another thing that we have done. While I was talking, I was showing you the tabletop flavor station. There's just a lot of products that I think people are unaware of, and this is one of them as well. You're able to have one that can sit right next to your shaver. In fact, we even have some on these stands. I'll walk over to a stand that has a shaver, and we've actually had the tabletop flavor station and shaver all on one of those push carts. Oh, Robbie right there is showing you how the drip pan it's basically just held there by weight. So you just tuck that thing underneath, and it catches all of your waste, and you can keep that thing wiped up and clean. So that thing's really, really slick. I mean, you could even have a setup like this where you have a shaver behind it, and if you have just a narrow table and then have this facing your crowd and let them fill it up. So anyway, I took you on a quick tour. These are actually some carts. We talk about being international. These are actually going to Dubai, and been doing a fair amount of business in Dubai lately. Those are 5-foot carts. They're all wrapped up, so they're hard to see. But the tabletop flavor station works on those as well, and you're able to serve off of those. I wasn't going to really feature any of this stuff, so I didn't look at it. But right here, this is one that's partially built. So we have the Snowie logo on top, and that's a collapsible top. So that top does come up. Robbie, you don't need to worry about it. And then the base will still take a decal. So as you can see on here, anybody that would like to do their own look and feel, you can do that on anything. Just like I mentioned with that bust there in the back, you're able to customize anything you would like as well. So we're going to go back up front and show you a couple videos, and we can discuss those things a bit further. Alright, so we see Mauricio here shaving into an 8-ounce cup using the block shaver. He's just using the regular vinyl flap, same as we've always done. And now you see him, he just clicked in that flower attachment. If you look right through the cone topper at the top, you'll see a little cylinder right there. That is a magnet. The blade housing also has a magnet to receive that attachment. So if you don't have a blade housing that has a magnet on the back of that, then you'll need to purchase one of those. And we actually have a bundle option where you get the 2 sizes plus a blade housing for 15% off what it would be if you bought them all individually. Man, notice that snow. Should have drawn attention to that before. I'm sure we'll shave some more here, but that block is throwing out some seriously air-filled soft snow. He just pulled out the small attachment, see the magnets on him, and then he's going to get this large attachment, pop it into place, click, that easy. It basically just sets itself, and you just aim the magnets towards each other and they click. And the snow that is coming out of that shaver will not knock that thing free. It is a strong magnet. So here he's filling a large one. So that large attachment's for like 16-ounce flower cups and larger. He's going to put a fair amount of snow. There's a lot of snow going into this, which is, it could draw attention to that again too. The speed on that is awesome. For you to be able to do that in another block, that would take a long time. Okay, so he's shaving another 8-ounce flower cup. So he has the small attachment in. And the reason that we have it so we can switch sizes, man, see that snow there? Should have drawn attention to that again, how soft that is. But the reason we do the attachments are obviously for the different sizes, for the different cups, but also to be able to pull those out to do regular cups. And the reason we do that is, like, people are like, well, why wouldn't you just do one over the other? Well, it allows you to be able to still sell regular cups at a regular price. So we do the regular cups, like the one that he did at the first of the video. That 8-ounce cup was $3, and these 8-ounce cups that these kids are filling right now, they are $4. So we get an extra $1 just by putting it in that cup. It's an upsell, and people they like them, and they feel like they're less messy. As you can see, some of that he's not even pouring on a shaved ice. It's going into the flower cup part, and then it drains itself into the shaved ice. So it's still making its way to the snow. Then you see, so there's a large one, or no, that's a small. So there's an 8-ounce that has not been compressed, man. They just put more and more snow on it. Check that out. And you'll see, man, it's hard to tell on video, but man, that is just like some soft snow. You can usually tell by the way the flavor goes on. It's just absorbing it like a sponge. And so you can make some fun products with that. If you notice, Mauricio, when he was shaving those, man, he was putting a lot of snow in that, and it was compressing it down. And you could even leave it out like that without packing that top. You could just kind of tap it in there to round the top a little, and then allow people to just fill it like that. He's all fired up to have a shaved ice that tall and that big. It draws attention too. And for that much more snow, there's really, because there's so much air, and because that is such a finely shaved snow, and it's soft, there's a lot of, I keep repeating myself, but there's a lot of air in there, which means there's not a whole lot of ice going into that, and you'd be able to upsell that normally. Now that's my boy, we just made it for him just for fun, but if you were to sell that to the public, and you could charge another $1 just to have that huge top, and it's fun for people, and everybody who sees it, if you go back and watch the video, you'll see like a dad in the background and the kids, they're all like wide-eyed looking at that thing, being like, man, that's what I want. So as much as you can draw attention to that stuff, it's great. Go ahead and talk about topics that we're going to do next week. I really want to do one on the block shaver. One thing that I wanted to emphasize to everyone out there right now is this shaver is unbelievable. I don't think we've properly put that message across, that there are a lot of block shavers out there, and when you compare them, this shaver is unbelievable. And so I wanted to really show that thing in detail, and there's a lot to it. There's speed controls on the block. You control how fast and slow it goes. There's time delays. All of this stuff doesn't really make sense right now, but it makes that shaver run flawlessly. And I wanted to go back and touch on the 3000, so we'll be hitting both of those. And the reason I want to touch on the 3000, we've had that shaver a long time. It's not a new product, but we have people that say, I get our ice is fairly hard that's coming out of it. And I actually had a shaver that I borrowed to a guy. He's actually a bishop of our church, and he does a thing every year where he gives free shaved ice to primary kids in our neighborhood and to elementary school students. And anyway, and so they all gather in his yard and they do it. Well, this guy's shaving, and I supply him and get him all set up, and then I show up a little bit later, and I go get my shaved ice, and man, I couldn't even get my straw in it. And I'm thinking, man, every one of these people, we make a big deal out of people buying our flavors. We feel like for it to make it a consistent product, for everyone who experiences a Snowie, flavors are a big, big deal. And they're huge. But the product of the snow is huge as well. And there is an element of training that has to happen with that a little bit. There's even a video, if you go out online, you can see the videos I was going to show you. One was that flower cup attachment. Go and find that on our website and watch that. Now even Mauricio, you watch him, he's shaving a ton of snow, and then he just like packs that thing. Well, people, they ask for that, but they also, I'm thinking I'm losing the signal just by it sitting there. But people will ask for there to be a lot of packed in it, but a lot of people, they just prefer that it's softer and it's fluffier. And so when you use that cone topper, one of the reactions that people have is to get snow in it and then just pack that thing until it's like a perfect round shape on top. I'm going to move out of here. I'm getting like no reception. Jason just said the quality is fine, but I think by being outside, maybe this isn't another view of the shop that I could show you anyway. A lot of it depends on how you shave and how you pack it and the ice that you're putting in it. Now, one thing that we tell people a lot, and you're probably hearing this all again, is use big and round and cold ice as you can get. Now, we used to have a problem where the ice would freeze. We've actually made some modifications on the shaver, and I actually just learned about these last week. I didn't even realize that the change had happened, but we've actually changed some things to where you can almost put like a frozen. I mean, one thing with shaved ice that's common among all of it is You would always have to temper it if it was too frozen. Well, we're at the point now where we're right on the brink of that snow could be like frozen solid, have frost on it and everything, which I normally tell people to avoid, and it will still shave it. Now the other problem that you'll run into is when that snow is so soft and so so cold and dry, it actually won't let flavor be poured on it. So you still have to have that tempered just a little bit. But don't temper it a lot. We have people, man, they're just dumping water in with their cube batch to be able to change that. But now you have a soggier shaved ice, and when you do that and then you pack it real hard, now you have like an ice block. So don't do that. What we do is keep that ice as cold as we possibly can. We shave it, we keep the snow light and fluffy, and we just form the top. You just press it in lightly, form that top, and then let them fill it up. And then they get much more of a shaved ice experience. People get carried away and they start packing those things real hard, and then they start thinking it's the shaver. It's not. You can get very, very close to shaved ice from a block. You can get that comparison with a 3000 if you do it right. So take some time, practice, and practice tempering your ice and not going too far and things like that. Hey Jace, any other questions? Oh, I'm still recording, good. You know what, I got to come back in here to see that question properly. Sorry. So did you remove the Snowie logo from the Flavor Station wrap? I think it still has the Flavor Station logo, right? And we can remove it so you can see how to transport it. Yeah, in fact, that's a great question. I'll show you how we actually transport it. We actually don't disassemble it all the time. In fact, Robbie just took it apart. But what I can do... No, you're good. I'll show them on this one. See, Snowie's logo is on there, but it's not huge. They more like advertise what it's offering, and then we put the Snowie logo up on top. Now this one here next to it is essentially this, with the top removed. So it shows you the jugs, and you can go through and you can take off each jug. They actually have a quick disconnect valve that you can turn off and take each jug off. I've spoken with one lady so far that she actually takes it apart each time, and that may have been Bethany Smith, if this is Bob Smith that's asking the question, and I can't remember who asked that exactly, but normally what we do is this whole unit right here, we keep this as one unit, and we'll take that out, and I have some video of that. I'll get that online of setting up and taking down a kiosk, but you'll see them putting this in. If you own a kiosk, there's the rounded side. In fact, you know what, I can show you that counter. But we have this rounded corner right here is where we put the Flavor Station. So you'll just bring it in the building, slide it into here, and then in this area you'll put your shaver, and then right here you'll put the rest of your Flavor Station. And then the counter space underneath is what you do with everything else, where you put all your totes and other equipment that you have to have. So we normally keep that whole section together. I hope that makes sense. And then what we'll do is that what we call the hat. So you have your cup, and I'll run back to these. This is what we call the hat, and we call it the cup. So that whole section that I showed you over there, we keep that as one, and then this part is the hat, and we will actually take the hat off, and hard to do with one hand. So I took this hat off, and there's the cup, and I will actually flip that upside down, and then that's how I put it in my building. And so now I can put in like the Flavor Station cover, I can put in an extension cord, I can put in the blower that goes on top of the kiosk. I put all of that in there. Anyway, so let's see what other questions. Thank you for doing this. Okay, how much liquid will one flavor hold? So these are 2.5 gallon jugs. And when people see all these spigots, let me just clarify that real quick. It actually is 6 flavors total. That's why we put this on here. And then it serves 6 flavors off of 3 sides. So at the very minimum, you can serve 3 people at once. And like I say, it's very minimum. So you have a guy here, a girl here, and a boy there. Then you're serving 3 off of even one side. So you got like 9 people around that thing that are filling up. So this is the 2.5-gallon jug that goes in the regular flavor station. This is the one that goes in the tabletop flavor station. And so, since I was a little confused there, I'm going to show you right there. So that's actually, I think it's doing it by quarts. It's 5 quarts. Hope that answers your question. Want to see the new wrap so we can see how to transport the stiffer wrap. Oh, so, yeah, so we can take the wrap. Are we still? Yeah, let's take that off. So this is the wrap. As you can see, it's like very sturdy now. Just taking that off, it's all Velcroed right on, and then you can just roll it right up. Whereas the other one, you could do that as well, but you started to get a bad wrinkle with it, and it started looking old really quick. This one will not do that. This thing is like, it's still hard to show over video, but that thing is very, very sturdy. All right, anything else? Man, I'm sorry. I feel like it's been quite scattered, and nothing went as I tested it last night. We actually did it until about 4 in the morning, just making sure everything was going to work, and it seemed like everything went the other direction. But I hope it was still informative and good, and I hope you're able to get an image of what Snowie is, what we do. We're actually very proud of what we do. We're proud of our shop. We're proud of what we manufacture here, and that we do everything. Literally everything you see is manufactured and created by Snowie, and we know the products inside and out. And on top of that, we all do what you do. Even with all of this going on, we all still go and do shaved ice at events. We have buildings that are in front of supermarkets. We run buses through neighborhoods and all of that. And so, you know, me myself, I may have said it on here before, I've done shaved ice since I was 8 years old. It's just been in our lives forever. We have done shaved ice a very long time, and it's our goal, it's our objective constantly to improve, to innovate, and we hope you're getting the sense of that, and that we've worked very hard to actually pull that off. I think there was another question that came up from Corey. Do you sell the flavor cups, and is the bundle included? And does the bundle include the blade housing unit? The description says it needs as well. Yes, we do sell flower cups now. The flower cups, I believe, are not online yet. But we actually just got a shipment of flower cups in, is that right? Do you know? I think we got a shipment of flower cups in, so we're now beginning to sell those as well. And they're actually better. I don't know if you guys have purchased cups from us before, but the styrofoam cups, these are big boxes, and they're considered oversized. So if you were to buy, like these 24s are in a package of 500, you're to buy those, now that box, it's expensive to get that box to you, and that's why we end up having a pallet full of it, because people that do it, it's easier to freight a bunch of them and cheaper than it is to just ship a box to you, because they consider it oversized. Even though it's a very light box, it becomes expensive to ship. So that's an advantage of the flower cup as well, because we can ship you flower cups in a box that's like a fraction of that size. It's a little bit heavier, but your shipping, your shipping doesn't even touch what that does. And the bundle is, what I mean by the bundle, and you'll see that online, the bundle actually is the housing and 2 of those attachments, a large and a small attachment. This is a very busy shop, and it's constantly moving and shifting. I actually have housings and the flower cup attachments laid out for the video, and all of that stuff has like been moved and been put in packages and shipped already. So I apologize for those things not being there. It's been wild. But yeah, you will get a housing, and in the bundle you get a housing and the 2 flower cup attachments, a large and a small. And the small normally is for, like, you know, you could do 8 and 16 ounce, and then the large is like 16 ounce, anything 16 ounce and bigger.
if you watch in the video, we actually used a large attachment even on a small, an 8-ounce flower cup for my boy, and he got a huge, huge top. And that's another upsell. I talked about the flower cup itself being an upsell, but really you could like make that shaved ice huge. And Mauricio actually was telling me in that same video that one guy was like, I'll pay you $15 if you just make that top as tall as it can possibly stand. So he made a huge one and sold it for $15. And I said, you know, you could sell it for another $1. And really, after I watched the video, I was like, man, you could sell it for like $3 more if you made that thing big enough and attractive enough. Don wants to see the tabletop again. All right. So here's this. So I just wanted to show you that. Robbie, can you help me since you have 2 hands? So that top is holding all those bottles in place. I assume this is the one that you want to see how you transport it. If it were me, I would not take these bottles off. It's compact enough. It's square. It will fit anywhere. I would leave the bottles in there, and I would just move it around like that and just take off your drip pen. You can see Robbie just like pop that thing off, and then you can just carry it like that. So where's the video on how to shave into the flower cup? So you should be able to go on the media page. If you go to Snowie, and man, that quality is just not there, but if you go to media, go to video galleries, and right there you'll see new, you can't read it really on here, it says new magnetic flower cup attachments for Snowie ice shavers. I think I'll draw it to a close, and we will be doing one next week. No, we were going to go bi-weekly, but because I had to cancel last week, I want to do one next week, and then we'll probably skip that following week, which puts us back on our regular schedule. So we'll have one next week. It'll either be on the, you know what, I'll probably, rather than do one shaver at a time, what I'm going to do is I'll do a block shaver and a 3000, and I'll show the flower cup attachments. I'll do all that a bit more. And I would also like your feedback on this platform. I had some serious high hopes for this platform, to be able to show you stuff, to be able to run out and see it, so we can actually answer questions physically like we did. Let me know. Did you like it? And even message that to us right now. Do you like this platform, or do you like the old platform of Go to My PC, where it's just kind of sitting down? There's less chance for hiccups and things like that. Or do you like walking around the shop? Do you like talking about these things and being able to ask questions that way? Please let me know. And if that is everything, I think we'll draw it to a close. And thank you all for coming out. We'll see you next week.